Hello and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Kyle. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. It's been quite the week.
It has been quite the week. It's been up, down, all around type of week, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, although I will say this. Today, this evening, I definitely got um happier as a result of, well, if you're watching this, you'll see what I'm wearing. Kyle, you're not maybe so happy as a San Francisco Giants fan, but as a Phillies fan, I'm feeling great.
Yes, you are. Philly swept the Giants in a four-game series, and it's only May baseball, so a lot of baseball yet to be played. But
Yeah,
it's disappointing for sure. But hey, you know,
taking all those L's, Kyle. Sorry.
we'll find out with the Timberwolves tonight.
That's true.
Game two.
I don't have, a horse in the race anymore. So,
Exactly.
I guess I'll cheer anyone but the Knicks or the Celtics. So I guess go Timberwolves.
I mean, shout out to Jack McGlynn, who's a diehard Knicks fan.
Sorry, Jack.
But on today's show, we're going to recap the week that was. We had two Union games. We had a little bit of Union news.
We had a lot of Union news. It's
Uh,
been a week,
it has been
like
a
a week
week.
and a half or so. Yeah.
And then we had Union 2 yesterday.
Yeah, we had a busy weekend.
So there was a lot going on this week. And before we get started, what are you wearing?
All right. Well, I veered off the Union merch just slightly. However, when this came out, everyone thought, "Oh, this looks like it could be a Union jersey," which is I think why I like it. So I am wearing the Phillies City Connect jersey, and it is a Bryce Harper one. So I really like it, and I like the color scheme. I actually got a hat too. I got before the Union 2 game, we stopped at Rally House and I got the City Connect hat too. So I've seen a lot of people wearing them at Union games
I have two.
lately. So I saw just on Tuesday when we were at the game there, I saw Stott, I saw Real Muto, like I saw lots of jerseys going on, and I've seen a lot of the hats. And actually, even at the DC game, some people in our section had a City Connect flag
Yeah.
that said Philly on it. So I thought that was cool. Also, I got one of those too.
I like it. I know there's a lot of people that are not a fan of it.
It's kind of polarizing.
It really is, but I'm a fan of it. It's something you can wear to a Union game.
Would you wear it, Kyle?
No, I would not wear it. I've thought about it though. If that makes you feel better, I have thought
Yes.
about it. And I
How
am
about you?
wearing
Yes.
something very awesome that our good friend Todd Lewis had shared with
Hmm.
me, and well, a couple of us. That is the Union Squirtle shirt.
Yes. I also
Squirrel
have one.
Squad. So, yeah, Squirrel Squad. You have one.
I thought about wearing it too when we were gonna twin, but then I was like, nah, I'm just gonna stick that dagger in just a little bit more today. And I felt like
Eh,
wearing my
and
Phillies.
you really thought I was going to care too. And I'm just like, and people are like Giants fans are like, oh, some Giants fans, but a lot of Giants fans are like, it's early in the season. It's
Yeah.
San
Yeah.
Francisco.
It's
Uh,
fine.
but yeah, before we get started, where can people find us?
So you can find us on your social media platforms at Twitter at TOTWAG. We are on Facebook and Instagram at the One Team We Agree On. You can find us on YouTube at the One Team We Agree On, and our website, the one team we agree on.com. So
You got an article out.
I did. I just published that today as recording it Monday. And so I go over the highs and the lows, the ups and the downs of the last week or so of union stuff. What, from the games to the cryptic social media posts and such. A lot of that stuff, the community things, union yards, just the whole fan experience, the away supporters, and I talk about union too. So there's a whole bunch there because there's a lot of stuff to keep straight for the last slightly over a week. So check it out, please, if you haven't.
Yeah, and if you did read my travel tips for the DC game and you enjoyed it, please let me know. And also, if there were some places that you went to that you enjoyed, let me know as well. Actually, there's a couple places that when we were venturing through the city prior to kickoff on Saturday, I was like, "Ooh, I could add this," especially around Nationals Park that are brand new. So future years, got some tips myself. So keep an eye out for some articles this week. I know I'm probably going to drop one late in the week, probably a preview episode, looking ahead, but I'm sure we're going to have some other stuff. So let's get into this busy week. Do you want to talk about Seattle at all?
Uh, it would
I think we should, just
we
for
should a little.
context. Um, I,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a historic moment, obviously. And there were some other things as well that,
So the first half was horrible.
but I think the first half, I will say this, was probably some of the most dismal, uncompetitive, unspirited soccer I saw the Union play. The chip started off with the chipped goal.
I I said that was one of the worst things I've ever seen at Subaru Park ever, maybe the worst. And I'm just like everyone that was around me were like, WTF, like what just happened?
And everybody in the press box was saying the same thing. We just up there, we were all looking at each other like, "What was that?" Now, I think that was something where Semla, like I said a long time ago, I said, "Look, there's gonna be some moments where he's now gonna have to learn about that. That's a learning lesson." But then to give up two other goals plus an awful PK by Bizo, like
Okay, so
you know better.
do you
Jim
still
said in
think
his
he's a
press.
top five back?
I don't even know if he's a bottom five back at this point. Like, I don't know what he is. I'm starting to wonder if he's a USL player. That was bad. His game was bad, and I don't want to harp on him.
Yeah.
I like him as a person,
Yeah.
but you know, again, it goes back to just I don't know what his game is, and there's a reason why he's not getting selected for Cameroon now, and
Yeah.
that is one of the reasons.
Yeah.
And with Nate probably going with the Olympics, guess what? We're gonna get a lot of Bizers. So
So Jim's hands were pretty tied with a lot of the roster, a lot of the lineup
right.
for that game. Now he was able to make some substitutions, for instance, Matt Real being loaned out, Marcus Anderson being hurt, Andre not being able to play. He was able to make some moves, obviously. However, of course, there was the whole thing. Ty Baribo was initially in the starting lineup, but not then, and Julian was put in, which I think we can all agree. Yeah, you want Julian starting that game.
Right. And Jimmy even said it in his press conference, like that was a move. Everybody was trying to look into it. And sure, I mean, again, it goes back to saying, why didn't you just bring Julian on in the second half? I mean, again, they're trying to get 3 points. This is a
Hmm.
game we were catching up on
Right.
or supposed to catch up on.
Right.
But I mean, that first half, you kind of leave, kind of like, what was that? Especially after a game where you probably could have gotten a point, at least 3 points against a really tough RSL. Um, that was
Seattle
just,
been struggling though.
yeah, and
But it felt also to me like it was a trap game. Like
well,
here they
yeah, I
are,
mean,
they've been
Jim said
losing,
they're
losing,
chasing
losing.
points, but again,
Hmm.
I mean,
But at home, did I expected at worst a draw?
right, right, and
And did we expect to have two losses at home in a row? Absolutely not.
no, and I'll bring that stat up. I mean, that's the first time since 2021 that the Unions lost two in a row at home, and I mean, so you think about that. I know I tweeted out 2017, but I mean, there was two games right at the beginning of the season in 2021 you
Mm-hmm.
lost at home, but I mean, it was just uninspiring football. So
Mm-hmm.
then you go into the second half, Union come out playing a lot better.
We had made subs.
You get the two goals, like, and there again,
Hmm.
it's where
It's like game on.
it doesn't make sense because they come out and they're just scoring at will, like bam, bam,
Hmm.
and then you
Did we
know
bring on Kai? Was it Kai, Jack, and Allie came
yeah, I
on?
mean,
And
they brought
yeah,
in everybody trying to get those points at that point,
yeah, and Jack McGlynn, of course, gets his first goal of the season. And boy, was that a nice one.
that was a nice one. Puts it in the back where it was a good angle,
And
right where
then,
you, and
yeah,
then and
the
then
historic one.
and then the historic one. Like 2 minutes later, nice ball. Danny heads in back of net. Beautiful, play,
It
and
was
it's
like
like,
bam, bam, like 2 quick goals, and that got the crowd going. I would
oh,
say
yeah, that got the crowd back into it. I mean, with that, he surpasses Sebastian Letou with 57 goals in all competitions. Now it's
mm,
all-time leading scorer, and you're thinking, "Hey, there we go, alright," and
game on.
they just couldn't finish at the end.
Mm-mm.
So, you lose 3-2. Jim says, "I'm fine with, mistakes, but just not being competitive, I'm not." And there was a lot of questions, a lot of head scratchers there because it just was a game where, yes, Seattle was chasing points, but the Union are the better team, but they didn't play like it. And now you're
No.
starting to wonder, okay, now you gotta go onshore rest to DC. How are you gonna handle that?
Right.
So
We just keep conceding first and having it's really not ideal to be having to battle back every single game. And to their credit, they've battled back every time, at least except for Pachuca. But they really have shown that resiliency. But we don't want to be in that position. We're not built to play from behind, as Jim has said many times.
well, I
But
mean,
that's
I'll
what we've been
talk
doing.
yeah, we'll talk about that later. But hey, let's share some pictures from that night. We got a couple here. Uh,
Yeah. So the nice thing was actually okay, so first of all, Ptolemy and I were sporting our Julian Carranza bootleg MLS shirts, so that was fun.
yeah, that was fun. And, we had some good conversation with some people prior to the
We
game.
did. So we had the unofficial tailgate with Sons of Ben, and then across the street, Union Yards was open, and I thought for a Tuesday night there was actually pretty decent crowd.
That was probably that whole area for Tuesday night was really packed.
Right, because it'd usually just be kind of dead.
It really was.
So that was
So
cool.
that was cool, and it's really good to see. And then I know you said after the game.
After the game, okay, so towards the end of the game, and of course we're all down, it's like, ugh, we're losing. And then I look at my phone, check the Sixers score, and I saw, oh, there's like 28 seconds to go. We're down by 6. I think we're gonna lose this. But of course, as soon as I put that away, we end up having we tied it by a maxi three-pointer and goes to overtime. So Ptolemy and I are walking back towards Union Yards and we hear everyone cheering. We're like, what? We come in, there's just a huge crowd of people gathered around with all the TVs at Union Yards and everyone's watching the Sixers in overtime. We end up winning. Super exciting. And the people were chanting like F the Knicks, except you know, and all that. Like it was and when we won, it was just a real excitement. It was really awesome. And so yeah, it's nice to actually have that to hang out at afterward for sure. So I enjoyed that. I mean, it's still a better deal going to Sons of Ben tailgate, of course. For your money, but I enjoy having that space there too.
It's nice for after the game for sure.
Yeah, especially when I gotta wait for you.
Right, right. So I was really happy to see the crowd. Been kind of a nice fan of that space now.
Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to also say, I thought, I mean, the crowd for a Tuesday night inside the stadium, once we
Oh, yeah.
actually when we were coming back, when we had those 2 quick goals, it was rocking, and I thought the supporters actually sounded pretty loud. What did you think from your vantage point in the
It
press
was
box?
crickets the first
Oh,
half.
it absolutely was, but I mean, when you're down like that, what do you
Oh,
think?
even before that was crickets.
Yeah.
Second half, when you guys start going, it really got loud. So I was really, really happy with that.
Yeah.
We even commented about it. The place just exploded when they got that second
Oh my
goal.
gosh, and especially because, hey, that's Danny's record setting. It's his record-breaking goal there. So
No,
that's pretty awesome.
I thought, if we would have had that energy the whole game, maybe something happened.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out to Dave Leto for, as always, an incredible call with that, and
Yeah,
Sebastian Letou was in there with him as well, and Shane Williams. So, like, Sebastian being there with the whole, like, history of everything was cool, and so
I just felt bad for Danny because I mean that was a historic night and the team
and
did
it was
not play.
overshadowed by a crappy game otherwise.
Yeah, but hey, and then following that game, well, during the game, you get the Jose Martinez tweet,
Right, so he got subbed off,
right?
but it also made sense with what Jim was trying to do with the lineup and the formation, trying to have more attack at that point, and also because Jose's had the
Wasn't
yellow
playing well.
he wasn't playing that well, but he also and well, yeah, and that chipped goal was kind of on
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah, and then you also had the yellow
The
card in
yellow
it
card
too.
accumulation. So he's, at that point he's I guess he still is one away. I don't know how many good behavior games he's had.
But
Yeah.
regardless, I mean, you get why he wasn't playing good.
You
They're
wanted to have him
trying.
available for DC if you didn't want him to get a yellow card.
Plus, again, I'm gonna say it, he was not playing good, so
Wasn't his best night.
I think it was a perfect, sub on Jim's part.
Yeah.
He tweets that out. I know up in the press box, everybody's trying to decipher. Of course, a good friend Jose deciphers it, says what it means. It really is just a cryptic message. I mean, it's a frustration quote. It's like, okay, when I said it, I'm like, all right, he's frustrated. Fine,
Yeah.
move on. Then the next day, you get the Andre quote.
Yeah.
And
So
that's when everybody starts losing, except again, me, I'm like,
the speculation was just
it was
running wild.
rampant. And then it was like, okay, he's injured. He had his knee drained.
He
He's
wants
fresh.
to be in there. He's
He's
frustrated.
frustrated. And, okay, his contract's coming up. At the option, etc. Okay.
He's talked before about basically
He's
frustration about the team not spending, basically.
he's frustrated.
We're frustrated too.
Yeah. I mean, he's human. Humans are
Hmm.
allowed to share emotions. So
Right.
this fact that he's going to go elsewhere, again, speculation. I didn't. I That's how I initially looked at it. Now, could maybe he go somewhere else? It's
God, I hope not.
possible. It's possible,
I know.
but could also be a page out of Kai's playbook.
Yeah, it could very well
I
be.
mean, there could be a million things, but
And and Kai actually said on the Dupe podcast with Sage Hurley that Andre was one of the reasons why he stayed.
yeah,
He was saying like they want to win something and all of that. And so I mean, I think Andre wants to be here, but also he's human. He's feeling frustrated. Could you imagine though if he were to go, how the fan base? I mean, we saw how people reacted to the whole like ally thing. So
I mean, again, it's
it would
speculation.
make me sick to see Andre in any other like MLS team, that's for sure.
I mean, it's possible. I mean,
God, I hope
but
not.
again, you gotta look at, his age. He's not getting any younger.
Right.
We
He's like,
talked about
what's that,
that
like
last
33?
episode.
Yeah.
He's getting injured, his body's breaking down. So there's a lot of factors where you're like,
Yeah.
hmm,
Yeah, it just kills me to see him going through this because Andreas meant so much to this team and this fan base and had just an incredible career with us. I mean, we know these
he's
things
still.
don't last forever. I'm hoping he can have the time to recover because I feel like he's been back too soon several times. And
Well, and
so
that's the case. Your body, I know Jim says he's a quick healer. Maybe at this point in his career, it's time to pump the brakes. And I know Jim said on Friday this past week that, when they drained his knee, they were not going to rush him back. And I applaud that. There's no reason Oliver needs to get more playing time. Number one, for continuity.
mhm,
Number two, for this summer.
yeah.
Number three, for his confidence and just get the MLS playing experience. So
Yeah.
I
I don't feel like, oh crap, every time Oliver goes in. I feel like, okay, maybe he's not
he's not
Andre caliber yet, but he sure as heck is a capable backup.
right. So there was that, and then that blew over, and then they announced the day after was the day after was oh, we had the season tickets this week.
Oh,
We
the
had the
people were
season
so
tickets this
mad
week,
about
and
that.
then we had Leagues Cup tickets.
Right. Oh my gosh. So
That
that just really ticked people off after we lose and the whole like Andre post and people grumbling about not spending and then it's like, oh yeah, opt in for Leagues Cup and people are protesting that by not opting in saying you're killing the US Open Cup and all that. But okay. So are we gonna say our piece about this?
yeah, I
May as
mean,
well.
we might
Okay.
as well because
First of all, I'm not judging anybody who is
no,
opting out. That is your choice.
here's
Okay.
my whole thing. I'm not a fan that, you know, I think this whole Leagues Cup thing could be handled differently. I do think MLS teams should be in Leagues Cup, but again, What's the incentive? I said that on a previous episode. Yes, it's the most historic thing, but there's
What you mean in the Open Cup?
yeah, it's like one
Yeah,
of the most historic tournaments. I agree.
how's
I'm not, and we know what the League's Cup is. It's a money grab, but
right.
it's also a money grab with 3 CONCACAF Cup spots available.
We got one that way.
Exactly. We backdoored into one. And so again, it's like, yes, I'm not in agreement with the League's Cup as well. However, I think it's important we also support our players that have
That's
to play in the
right.
League's Cup.
We
So,
are supporting our team. I'm not calling people out who are not opting in and saying, "Oh, you don't support the team." But at the same time, it's like we want to be there and support the team. We That's important to us. And if I'm being honest, I kind of had fun at the Leagues Cup games last year. Who knows how far we'll go in it anyway, but
yeah,
I
that's the other thing.
I honestly, I just have fun going to the games.
Well, right, and I
Right?
kinda wanna see the Cruz Azul game.
Yeah,
But
I think
again,
it's
we're
cool to
not
see us
judging
playing
anybody.
it's cool to see us playing Liga MX teams. It brings good competition and someone different. Even though like last year we played how many times we played DC United and Red Bull in like a short span of time,
I
but
know, right?
but anyway, it's still I had a good time with it, and I know some people are like, "Oh, so many games, so many games." Hey, listen, we're coming from Lancaster. It's an hour and a half drive for us. I get it. It was a while, but it was a lot of driving and a lot of games, but I enjoy it. It's like part of my social life
And
actually going to these
again,
games.
we're not calling anybody out on this. It's just
No, no, no judgment for those of you choosing.
no,
I know people have different reasons for
right.
opting out, and that's fine. That's your choice. Th-
But just
yes.
remember, if the Union have Messi at home this year, which is very possible with the bracket,
Yeah, if you're selling off your tickets or not opting in and that stadium gets filled with fake Miami
just
fans.
remember that. Remember that if they do get to the final, those tickets aren't gonna be cheap.
Nope.
So, think if they get against a Monterey or Club America. I'm just saying, like, and again, people have financial things, travel, work, we get it.
Yeah.
We get it, we're not judging you on that. It's just
It's good to consider all these other things and understand
I
why
agree.
we are opting in and why some other people, why other people are too.
And so again, if you're opting in, cool. If you're opting out, cool. It's just I'm always like, support the players,
Yeah, that's why we're doing
support
it.
the team.
Yeah, we believe in this team and we want to support them.
Maybe not support the ownership, but I know some people say that. But again, look, we want to be there covering the team.
Right.
That's so I'll probably be in the press box for it. So,
Yeah. Or I will be.
or you will be, or we both will be.
Or I might need to be in the stands if we're missing some of our people there. I need help bring it. Jane and Eric and I, we will bring it. And Drew and all of our friends up in 136.
Well, we'll see.
136 brings it usually. Okay. It's a rowdy place. And if you've never experienced it, yeah.
And also, just a public service announcement: those season ticket packages, I get it. There is some price increase there where I'm like, ooh, that's a little high. But that's what happens at times when teams have had success, even though we haven't had a cup.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I get it. Um, but they don't support the season ticket people that have already opted in on season tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
just something to consider with that. However, again, I did notice when I did break some stuff down that some of the seats are a little higher than some of the going rates, like what the
Mm-hmm.
annual thing of inflation is. So
Right.
I don't know. But again, you know, there are certain factors that go into that. Is sure success one of them? Absolutely. You see that with any sport. Heck, the Phillies had that one year when they were like winning. Remember that? All of a sudden your tickets started increasing.
Oh yeah. So I had Sunday season tickets for the Phillies from like 2008 to I want to say
And that
2014.
was when you guys
And
were
I
making
started
the
doing
run.
oh, and I started getting the season tickets before they won the World Series, but they had just made the playoffs. So it was really for I remember the parking was like $11
Yeah.
for like, the K lot or whatever. And then it can you imagine it being that low now? I mean, that was 2008, 2009, but it got jacked up. But yes, the ticket prices went up, they made different seating, like, they actually changed their configuration of pricing for the seats, like, different sections and stuff, and it went up exponentially when they had
Now,
success.
here's where I will agree with people. The quality in terms of, some of these fan experiences, some of these, like, season ticket packages,
Mhm.
or gift,
Yeah.
those kind of things have gone down while the price is going up. I understand the
I
frustration.
understand that too.
You know,
Even for my partial plan with the Phillies, I got these after we won the World Series, I got these nice engraved glasses that
I
you
mean,
use in
some of
different
the
stuff like
things
that.
in the food concession stand prices, I
The
mean,
concession stands can be better,
some, like, they haven't paved the parking lot,
right?
upkeep of the
And
facility.
this is why
Those things, I
yeah.
understand people's frustration.
That 50
Economics
mil
too.
would have been nice if we'd gotten into the Club World Cup.
You don't think they probably would have spent it on facility upgrades.
They would have upgraded the premium areas as they are doing.
Right. So, I do think in those areas, the club can do 100% better. Come on,
People
guys.
gripe like they want the bathrooms fixed up. They want the
But they
parking
should
lot done.
be fixed.
Yes. I mean, gosh, it
I
does
mean, I will say that to the ownership, like, fix the freaking
fix up
bathroom,
some things. You know what a
pave the parking
you
lot,
understand what a
like,
cluster, you
make
know what it is in the concourse when it's crowded there too? I
maybe if
cannot
you
get
made
by the
this
team store.
facility a little nicer,
There's some things that can be done for sure.
the fans would give you the benefit of the doubt when you increase ticket prices. Like,
Yeah.
give the season ticket people a premium experience, but
Yeah, I
but also just for everybody.
yeah.
Just for everybody. Like, I think that's kind of where the disconnect is. Look, we can say what we want about the roster. We
I'm
have
not
our
asking
great
for much, but, I would have loved to say, "Oh, you get 50% off a kit," or, that's not asking for much. I like that we get the MLS season pass. I mean, that's
yeah.
good.
Although
So
it's being reduced
uh,
to what is it, 25% off now?
oh, well, yeah, if people wanna get it. So, anyway, but let's move on.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
could
because
be a whole podcast just on this topic. So let's
actually, you know what? This would be cool. Hey, if you are interested in coming on and discussing this, please reach out to us.
that or and also talk to us at the tailgates and stuff because we wanna start talking to people at tailgates, getting quotes and stuff
This
like
will
that.
be yes. If we want to talk about this, come see us
Look for us at
on.
the tailgate on
We will
Saturday.
discuss this.
We'll be there.
B
We'll be at Sons of Ben.
Yes, because I wanna hear everybody because we see what's on social media. Is this how everybody's feeling?
That's the thing. Yeah.
Can we see that? That's the key. So, anyway, moving on, let's talk about, a fun moment. Uh, Matt Real and Brandon Craig played against each other this week, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna share
Saturday
this.
they did.
So, yeah, and at the end, they got to swipe jerseys.
Yeah, so they swapped jerseys there at the end, and Matt Real had posted that yeah, they actually had won. So Matt Real with the Colorado Springs Switchbacks and Brandon Craig with El Paso Locomotive.
Matt Real
So
with the cornrows,
yeah, he's been posting stuff there in Colorado, and yeah, he has the cornrows now, and
and he's playing full 90s, and he's
mhm,
smiling in team
he's
picture.
smiling. He looks happy. Hey,
Both of
good
them.
good for them. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and I'm glad to see Brandon's back from his injury, so
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So we just wanted to share after that little rant there, some happy news. Another happy moment, let's be honest, is Andrew Rick got added to the roster.
We had a couple moves because
So
also we had David Vasquez got a homegrown contract
contract,
with Union.
and so did Andrew Rick.
Yeah, so we'll see if I wonder if we'll see Vasquez during the summer, like when we're
I
missing.
think we
I
will.
think we will. We saw him play with you two yesterday, and he's been looking real good. But yeah, Andrew Rick, I mean, of course, with Andre being unavailable, it certainly I think hastened it a little bit. But
So
I think in the long run, it was coming sooner or later anyway. We
well,
all
and
knew
that's just
this.
it. Jim even kind of said that because there's speculation. There's still paperwork to be discussed,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. And he's right. I mean, this move was going to happen regardless. Did it get
Right.
expedited because of Holden Trent and Andre being injured? Of course. I
Yeah.
mean, but that wasn't the reason. It wasn't like, hey, because Jim has mentioned past, there's hardships. There's
Yeah.
things and workarounds. So,
Yeah, but congrats to Andrew Rick.
yes.
Well deserved. He's been playing great. We saw him play with Union 2 yesterday, as we have several times this season. And yeah,
Yeah, congratulations to both these
well
guys. Well
well earned. Yeah,
deserved.
well deserved with
I'm
them.
excited to see them play because they've both been looking really good. But let's move on and talk about our day in DC.
Yeah.
So we went down with our good friends Todd Lewis and Skylar Hoffner,
Yes.
and
So
we we drove down. And you were meeting up with some people, so we got
right.
down there, walked around. Nationals were playing, so we walked around the stadium in the town.
Yeah, you
So
can show some pictures there.
we're gonna show a couple of pictures, some
Yeah,
video
so we
here.
got down there, got down pretty easily, and we we of course we have parking. We shared this on the travel information for DC, but yes, we do have spots that we like to park, and it only costs 17 bucks really, although there's a little bit more to that story. But
Yes,
yeah,
there is.
we'll talk about that. But also shout out to Jesse Kavanaugh because the headband I'm wearing there, he got me that. And I also got one via Todd's sister Shelby.
Hmm.
So thank you guys for the headbands because I got to match with my jersey there. So also the Sons of Ben rain jacket was a good investment, I must say, because how many games has it rained? Of course, it was misting for this game, but there we are in front of Audi Field. So Skylar and Todd and you, Kyle, and me. So before we
And then
just
this was me when I got in the press box. Picture of me
mm-hmm.
inside Alley Field.
Yep. So I met up at Tap 99, which is right across the street from the Nationals Stadium. So I met up with a bunch of people that I know. So Sons of Ben people and Bridge Brigade people. And also so Elvia, and I met her friend Michelle. So that was cool. And so yeah, a whole bunch of us there. Good times. And from there, we ended up heading in then after a little bit.
Mhm.
And so we were all kind of at the top of the away supporter section, which if you've never been to DC, it is the epitome of nosebleeds. It is so
Mount
steep.
Everest.
It is Mount Everest. It is so steep. And so that was my view from there. You're up in the corner, like pretty much with the roof. So we had a decent sized group, although I've seen us have more people there,
Which is a bigger hike? Mount Everest or the old vet walk up to the very, very top?
like the 700 level.
Yes, 700 level march up,
Well,
or
honestly, it's
those are hikes. I
but I was
remember.
also much more youthful and it didn't seem to bother me as much because when I was
But
going
think
there I was
about
like
now if you had to walk to
10.
700 level.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this was so steep though all at once. So I
I
think this
know.
is worse. But
Well,
anyway,
leave your comment.
yeah. So yeah, so we had our supporter group. Now, unfortunately, a bunch of people were sitting on the one side for a while. Now, in my opinion,
Do you want to go into that?
yeah, I mean, we could have been louder. Well, I should say some of the people could have definitely been louder. There's quite a bit of sitting for being the away supporter section. So that was definitely rubbing some people the wrong way and whatnot. I don't want to go into all that, but we once we and of course the beginning when we're down to nothing, that's a downer. But I will say this: when LA scored, everyone got way more into it, of course, and it was game on. But
So let's talk about that a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
So, a couple things starting off. We saw Mikel on the bench, which we'll
mm-hmm,
get to in a bit.
mm-hmm,
Um, Leon Flock made his first start.
yep.
Um, for me, when we got there, we were talking with Dave Leno. Shout out to Dave. We got to meet a couple people in the press box. It was actually interesting. It's a nice press box. They have a nice like booth area,
Mm-hmm.
like hospitality area. And
Yeah,
then you kind of just you saw where we kind of sit. I thought this is probably of the three games we've gone to DC now, probably one of the louder areas I've heard their support section. They were pretty loud.
it's
They
because
were
they don't suck right now. Because
no,
when the first time we went there, we beat them 6-0, and Carranza had a hat trick.
right.
And
So
last year we beat them, but not by as big of a margin, but we still pretty much owned them. So This one, they score first, of course, and it was a whole different
Right.
thing.
So, I mean, they came out, and they were playing more of a 4-4-2 flat than the diamond. And they were kind of going a little bit more defensive, and it just didn't work. And I remember Todd sitting over, and I kind of said, I agree with you on that because, you know, Troy, their DC coach, he plays very much Red Bull's way. Well, the Union saw a similar play, kind of Red Bull style,
Mm,
and they were just cooking us. And you get that first goal in the 8 minute, and then it's like, well, the Union have now conceded 7 out of the last 10 games, and they conceded in the first in 15 games all of last season. So again, Jim talked about it pregame, playing a full 90. Well, once again, they certainly did not play a full 90 minutes.
no,
So,
this is not
I
it's not
mean, and then
yeah, not good.
and then, Kranza, I think it was Kranza hits the post, and already the Union have hit the post 4 times. So you're like, okay. And then of course DC goes up 2-0. You could say, well, you know what they say about 2-0
I
lead.
actually said that to the people, like, I'm like, "Well, what they say about 2-0 leads, most dangerous lead to have," and
But we're not even saying that. I'm sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, we look again just like we did against Seattle, against Pachuca." And it's like, all right, are we gonna get 6-0 here and they get the revenge? Because it was just bad. And
yeah, not good,
well, yeah, not
to
good.
quote
But
Jim Curtin.
I don't know. It was a cavalcade of, I don't know, it just wasn't working. The 4-4-2 flat. We just weren't creating chances, and when we weren't really doing anything with them. And it goes back to what Dave Leonard was telling Todd Schuyler and I. Uh, the Union this year, and it's the front three just are not connecting.
Mm-mm.
Now they're creating, but they're not
They
finishing.
get up and they're not finishing, they just, like, do whatever with the
There's
ball.
just no confidence, there's no, like, "Hey, I know where you're going, I know where you're going, let's make this happen." They're just, I don't know, it's just they're forcing the hand, and I tweeted out the second goal, it's starting to become a sign and symptom and not one the Union really wanna have. So, again, I don't wanna be Negadelphia, but that's the reality situation. There's just not a lot to be confident about there. So, you go out, and then, of course, on the reset, then we talk about set pieces,
And that's
and
been a bright spot.
that has been a bright spot. And when else was a bright spot? 2022. So that's still there on the restart. And if you go back and watch it, go back and watch it because Bedoya, they're sitting there trying to decide what they're doing. DC's getting their shape, and I'm staring right down there looking at that, and I see Bedoya making that start. Just raise Kai's about to get the ball, just make that beeline. Kai sees it, perfect pass, and back in that's 2-1. You're like, okay, now we're gonna start cooking,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's when your guys we start hearing you guys,
Yeah.
and then we kind of were like, okay, let's get another goal, and here we go. So,
Yeah, let me tell you, Kai's passing though, he's so, like, on with those passes, and
mhm.
also just Bedoya. I mean, people call him, like, old man and whatnot, but I'll tell you what, he's out there busting his butt and having these off
So question:
such such a goal.
Is Kai the best Union's best player right now?
I kinda tend to think he's been the most consistent.
Yes.
He
I would
hasn't gone
say
out and
he's
had a
their best.
stinker of a game.
I would say Kai's their best player right now.
I
He
honestly agree.
he has been probably consistently game to game their best player, which is great. That's been a great re-sign.
So, it's like, where would we be if we hadn't re-signed Kai? Like, who
I
knows?
don't know.
Who knows what I don't know, but, I mean, yeah, he's been day in and day out doing a great job on that.
So, I mean, second half, you come out now they have momentum. And one of the things, and we'll play the clip here in a second, uh, we noticed that the Union now have gone back to the diamond. And they're really attacking that right side
Mhm,
of the pitch, and actually kind of Bedoya's dropping back and sending Hero up higher on the pitch, and again, we're like, "Okay, this is starting to work." And the Union are just creating chances, they're
mhm.
they're finding that open space, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but we're just down there like, okay, this is actually working. So, I mean, we had, and Skylar even said, like, if we don't score in these first 60 minutes, it wastes cause. We don't score in the first 60 minutes, so it was kind of a waste
It's like
cause.
about the 79th minute, I think. Something like
Yeah,
that.
but first 60, we had
Yeah.
them on our heels and we just couldn't capitalize. So that was disappointing. Um, and then of course, you know, we'll talk about Jack, just find some open space again. That press creates some open space. And Jack finds the back of the net with a ball that when I saw it kind of ducked in and then ducked out because it was
Yeah.
duckling.
First of all, great ball from Harriel
Oh, it
to
was.
Jack. And then that goal, I think, was one of gosh, that's one of the best I've seen in a long time. I think probably the best I've seen since Brujo's absolute banger.
It was.
But
It
just
was.
the way it hooked in and my god, like, we're all just like, "Oh my god." Like, that was one of those ones where it's like, mind blown. And that should be and in my very biased opinion, I think that should be the goal of the week. I
Yeah.
I know they have right now the goal of the week voting, and honestly, Jack McGlynn's goal and also Berneski's goal were definitely better than Rojas from Miami. But all the fanboys from Messi are gonna vote for him, which is frustrating. But hey, if you're listening to this Tuesday morning or something, you can still go vote. Go vote for Jack.
Right. No, no, seriously. Go
Just
vote
go
for
vote
Jack.
and share it. And yes,
Let's do our thing, Union
mhm,
Nation. So
do your thing.
yeah, and then so it's 2-2, and then everybody starts getting into it. DC gets quiet. Union
Oh yeah.
really started to try and create that third chance. Mikhail Skies won. But then DC towards the end was getting a little trippy. Leon Flock has a nice tackle to kind of save it, and Union
Mhm.
walk away, with a
Yeah.
2-2 draw, which again kind of felt like a loss, just given those first 45. But the second half, again, we made some good defensive plays.
If we played a complete game, we could have definitely won that.
Right.
And so that was frustrating, but yeah, there were some good things going on there. And also of note, Julian Carranza got a stupid yellow
Yeah,
card.
we'll talk about that.
Stupid yellow. And now he's going to be out due to accumulation for the Orlando game.
Right. So that's never a good thing because now you know who's going to start up top. Dono, Sullivan, Ua, Barbo, probably not. But
Do we all really think we're going to see Ty Baribo in there?
no,
No.
we're not going to see. So I'm going to share a couple. Here's some post game conference. So I asked Jim about what his
I
thoughts
talked to them at halftime, and I think
about,
sometimes you have to give your players ownership and a
basically
feeling.
the
So we didn't have our best
this
half, and
formation
it's 2-1,
switch.
so you're still in the game. And I said, "What do we think?" Because I said, "What I see right now is Ali and Jack are in the middle, but the ball is just being played over them, so they're not irrelevant, but they're not able to scoop up second ball. So let's go to the diamond. Let's do we all believe and make them feel part of it? Do we believe if I put Leon there, it gets Ali and Jack a little higher up the field when we have the ball and we have more options? So with those two higher now, it leads to your point, which is Nathan can then go higher and join in because we had the ball a little bit more. He had a couple really good runs in the one. If he actually, instead of trying to head it to Julian, if he just chests it and lets it go into his stride, maybe we steal all 3 points. But Nathan is really good at attacking. He's an incredible athlete, incredible 1v1 defender. We all know that, but he's really adding some really good attacking things to his game. We're trying to encourage him to play forward first more, a little bit faster, and he's doing a solid job for us.
All right. So Jim basically said, the team was talking about what they were seeing at halftime and tackle upload, and then just the really great ball Nate made, and just the growth of Nate,
Mhm.
and just continues to grow and develop, and then also the growth of, just how they were formation, how they switched back to the diamonds. So I thought that was really good. And then we asked Jack McGlynn, what the team saw as well. So here is what Jack had to say.
Yeah, I think we changed our formation at half, kind of went back to what we were used to in the diamond, and that's kind of the way we attack a lot. We overload the right side and kind of make things happen over there. So we kind of saw that it would work, and it ended up. Yeah, I think
So
we
those are
changed
Jack's
our
comments
formation
about the game, and just basically again how they had to switch out of the diamond. I mean, in second half. So yeah, that was good. And then so overall thoughts of the game?
Well, yeah, it felt like we definitely could have won this, but at the same time, it wasn't a loss. We got a point on the road. And so that's one thing we've been able to do is get at least a point on the road
Right.
each time. So I don't want to jinx anything and say exactly what that, I don't want to jinx it, but yeah. So that's good. We're getting points on the road and hopefully we continue with that.
We were
But
defeated on the road.
that's what I was not gonna say because I didn't want to jinx it, Kyle.
But we're not the only undefeated team on the road, and
But
we're not gonna jinx it. Don't worry.
no. But anyway, that's
Well,
been.
but my point is right now we're playing better on the road than we are at home.
Oh, you know what happens every time we go to an away game or I go to an away game?
Right.
Aside from playoff ones, aside from postseason, because Cincy and LA don't count for regular season. But say this, we have a pretty good record of the away games we go
and that's what I'm
to.
saying. So what I'm getting at is, okay, you can say I jinxed it. I don't believe in jinxes.
Oh, remember last year when you were on the presser with Jim prior to the Columbus game?
Yeah.
And you jinxed them about having like a clean sheet or whatever against Columbus and
whatever. Like I said, I don't believe in jinxes.
Jim even said that you were gonna jinx it.
I did, but all right, so I jinxed the next game. All right, whatever. My point is,
everybody, you heard it here. So if he jinxes it, we're all gonna give him a hard time.
Okay, you can all give me a hard time. What I'm saying is, Subaru Park's been our fortress. But we lost 2 in a row. We gotta kind of match that second half intensity.
Yes.
We gotta put it for full 90.
We do. We need to get the crowd into it from the beginning, like keep the crowd into it. When we concede early, I feel like everyone's just like, no, like we need to get the momentum going early, actually score first, not concede first, because again, it's just
Yep.
it's just frustrating.
So anyway, we're gonna move now and talk about the Union 2 Huntsville game.
And did you want to share the other thing though about DC before we move on?
Nah, we'll
okay.
We'll
It's
table
fine.
that.
It's fine.
So with that, Donovan was in the lineup. We got to see Chris Donovan.
Yeah.
And it was a fun time. Bridge Brigade were there. We'll share some of our photos.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't the greatest weather. I mean,
no.
It was kind of like out DC was just kind of misting overcast, but we had fun. Yes. Yeah. I was supporting my City Connect hat.
That's a very nice hat.
Thank you. So it was Cinco de Mayo, so the Bridge Brigade was all ready for that. And also I loved how a bunch of the guys had those lucha masks there.
Yes, no, I want to get in. Kyle the baby, we were talking to him before the game. He said they got them on Amazon, so I might pick one of those bad boys up.
Really?
Or another one. Although there's a couple guys, I don't know, I like them.
Yeah, but that was fun.
Yeah, and then we got to talk to Vince, who we've seen before. He follows us on Twitter.
Yep. So there's the starting lineup.
So yeah, we were talking to Vince a little bit there about just the games, the season. He was at the Gotham game, so shout out to you, Vince. Thanks for chatting with this game. And then I want to share some more of those screens here. So go in here, and yeah. So here's the starting lineup.
I love how tall Neil Pierre looks
is
compared to everybody.
Yeah,
and a lot of times like Makanya wasn't playing. He took a knock or something. He was there in the crowd actually, along with a few other people. We saw Nick Pariano there. We saw Jack McGlynn, Nate Harrell, and Jeremy Raffanello were there to watch.
We saw BR there with his little sombrero.
Everyone's favorite Sons of Ben Cat. Yes, Dupe was like he's just or she, I should say. BR is just chill. Like she's just doing her thing during the game there. And Kelsey there is putting the sombrero on her. And yeah, post game, Yeah, the free hugs. Andrew Rick, he had a clean sheet in the goal the goal there. And yeah, we yeah, he didn't show some of those clips from DC, I guess. But so yeah, it was a 2-0 win. We had a goal from TJ only. But yeah, that's you showing the DC there. I'm gonna say I have Frankie's PK on there. I think
Yeah, so I do want to share some talk about the game a little bit here.
yeah.
So sorry about that. There's a little technical glitch and I was working ahead. So anyway, no, I thought the game overall, I thought Saunders Nagabo was excellent.
Yeah, he played a heck of a game for
Another
sure.
great game. He's been doing really well. Maybe we'll see him this summer during the transfer window. I mean, the international window.
Yeah.
And the one thing I wanted to quote, I love when during the first half when the Union 2 guys go warm up.
Yeah.
Some of the Bridge Brigade guys put the pennies on. They're over there running.
Like they're basically emulating what the guys are doing on the
It's
sideline
really
warming
cool.
up around
So-
the cone. They put the cones and everything, and they put the pennies on just like them, and like they see the guys doing like say high knees or whatever around it, so they start doing it. It's so I love it. Just like you guys, if you haven't been to a Union
Yes.
2 game, get there. It's fun. It's honestly, it's kind of low key, and of course the banter is great. The Bridge Brigade guys will shout stuff at the players. They thank Kevin Casey up in the booth every time. They're like, you know, Kevin will announce, say, a sub or go whatever, and then they're like, thank you, Kevin. And he always waves out. We love that. Just things like they like to comment to the refs and everything.
They
And,
do.
and just it's fun, you know.
It is fun.
They get
So-
Andrew Rick to laugh. He was back there.
Yeah, they really, really do.
They're
And
they're fun. And of course the guys like they get their free hugs at the end. They always toss Marlon a beer.
mhm.
Yeah, so and I really like shout out to Marlon LeBlanc. I really enjoy watching just him coach at being at a game like that. I can hear what he's saying to the players, and I have more of an up close view of the coaching that's going on. So, and as a coach myself, obviously of a different sport, but it's coaching, and I appreciate seeing that. You know, because I see what Jim does, but it's a lot farther away, so I don't get that up close view.
Right. So no, I mean, you know, goals by only Westfield.
Yes,
Uh,
Frankie Westfield, he got a PK, and we have video of that. That was real nice. So
We'll watch that right now.
yeah, he's been looking real good.
Yes, he's been looking excellent. So here's the video Jillian took. Oh my God. Put the Union
Oh,
up.
you got to show the whole thing there,
Oh,
Kyle,
yeah, I didn't-
because I love BR getting hoisted in the air here too. Yeah, show the whole celebration. But yeah, so that was fun. The guys, of course, celebrating there, and then yes, BR getting hoisted in the air. Yeah, love it.
So overall thoughts on the weekend?
Like I said, my article had its ups and its downs. And so it was honestly kind of refreshing to go to the Union 2 game and see a win in Subaru Park. I think the Union 2 guys have more wins in Subaru Park than the first team do right now.
Possibly. But anyway, I had a fun time being with you and just hanging out with all our friends, and it was just a really good time. So
yeah. We're gonna be back at Subaru Park twice this coming week. So
yeah, so speaking of that, tomorrow we will be at no, not tomorrow,
well,
Wednesday.
Wednesday, but if you're listening to this on Tuesday, it will be tomorrow.
Yeah. We will be at the Meet the Team event, starts at 6:30. If you register an RSVP, if you're a season ticket member, if you haven't, you better do so because it might be limiting.
I'm not sure if it's too late or not, but
Yep. And the fan store will be opened at 5:30. And then the Union are back with a very critical matchup against another struggling team in Orlando City. So
can you say trap game? We better
yeah, this
not
is
fall
one
into that
where
trap.
we need to get all 3 points. So a lot going on. There's a lot more to discuss, so keep a lookout. Anything else?
As I told our friends in 136, I'm not planning to be in 136.
So yeah,
We're gonna
so
do
I'm-
a little switcheroo probably here. So
So yeah, we'll be able to do that. So that's been all for this episode of the One Team We Agree On.
Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe and comment. We love hearing from you. Keep interacting with us. Definitely come talk to us at the tailgates. We love hearing your opinions and feedback. So we really appreciate it.
And until next time, I'm Kyle,
I'm Jillian.
and we'll see you at the game.